Hello and welcome. I'm Arkayla. I'm a shamanic healer, an alchemist, and a channel. And every single week I do free oracle card readings to give you some guidance for your week ahead. This week I am going to be reading from The Law of Positivism by Shereen Oberg. This is what it looks like. These are beautiful cards with a lot of imagery that we are going to intuitively tune in with to get your readings for this week. So I have 3 cards here. If you want to choose a number between 1 and 3, go to the comments below. Whatever card feels good to you, just click on the timestamp and it will take you directly to your reading. If you feel to listen to more than one card, by all means do so. I'll see you there. If you chose card number 1, this is your card. And so we're not going to tune in with the words, just the images. Okay, so what's coming through quite strongly with this card is the fact that you might be oscillating. It's what I call oscillating. And this is essentially, you're in this state where you are moving constantly or very frequently between one mindset and another. So it could be like a positive, negative experience, or it could be moving between I can do something and I can't do something. So oscillating really represents all of us at the moment, because we're at this stage whereby we are moving from one energy into another quite strongly. And we're literally between these two worlds, if you like. And sometimes, or some days, we're feeling really aligned with what I call old energy. And that is kind of old thinking. Oh, I can only do these things and that's out of my reach and I should just focus on what I know and stay safe. And this is very old energy, old paradigm mentality. Since COVID, as a global collective, we've been going through a series of experiences which have been bringing to the surface old energy stories. And we have been encouraged to face them, to face our limiting beliefs, because old energy really is about control energy. It's very fear-driven energy. The energy that we're moving into is about trust. It's about being open, being creative, being different, trusting that the way that you feel is actually the right way, and not giving your power away to the beliefs and perspectives of others or institutions. And so oscillating is really where we're all at, because we're all in this process of moving from one mindset into another. And each of us is at a different point in this spectrum. Some of us are still very much in that fierce place of not really sure where we're at, really feeling the struggle of moving and letting go of these old beliefs, which in the past have given us a great sense of safety, but we know intuitively aren't going to serve us going forwards. But we're scared of letting go because we don't yet trust this new way of operating. Some of us are further along the spectrum where we have got to a place of understanding that I have some challenging beliefs, I have some challenging narratives, but I know that if I just put my attention onto things that feel good to me, if I can just keep my focus in a place that feels aligned and follow my instincts as much as possible, generally things are going to work out for me. Others of us are way more down the spectrum, where we really moved into this trusting energy, and we're very clearly able to observe old energy beliefs and patterns. We're still working with them, but they're nowhere near as imposing on our mental state. This oscillation energy is really big for you at the moment. So wherever you are on that spectrum, you're just feeling it quite strongly. It's uncomfortable. But what they want you to know is that your soul has really called in this big shift on a very profound level, because you are calling in a very different future. In fact, over the last couple of years, you've got clearer and clearer on the kind of life that you want to lead. And it's very different to the life that you have been leading. And so in order to lead you to the pathway that you can receive that life fully on, your soul which is always bringing you what you're asking for, believe it or not. Your soul is bringing you everything you want. But what stands between you and that life you're calling in is all your internal stories and beliefs that are not letting that in yet. And so when you wish for something, it's brought to you, but right in front of it will be all the things inside you that are not allowing it in, which might be, I'm not worthy of that. I haven't worked hard enough to receive that much abundance yet. This is a very common belief. I haven't worked hard enough, because this is old energy. You have to work hard to receive what you want. Whereas in the new energy, you start to understand that actually just following your instinct and having the courage to trust what feels good to you, which is the challenge, is finding that courage, then everything just starts to flow easily. All the abundance, all the opportunities. So it's really an interesting time for you as you are confronted most likely with a lot of old stories. But the reason I'm sharing these perspectives is because I really want you to understand that the old stories are just showing up the parts of you that are ready to transform. These old stories are coming up because you no longer want to maintain them. And so what you can do is start to observe the stories, but see them as separate to yourself. If it's, I can't leave my corporate job because I won't know how to make an income and I'm not safe, instead of just having that story on repeat and just letting it dictate your life, maybe write that story down. Maybe pull it apart, question it. Well, what would it look like? Or how could I make something else happen? Or what are my dreams and aspirations? And how could I integrate that into my life? And just start to tease at those stories if that's where you're at. If you're further along that line, then go and sit with the energy of those stories. Ask yourself, what is it that truly sits behind this? What is it that is maintaining the energy of this story? This is something I help people with a lot. If you need some help, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help you transform the energy that sits behind these stories so that you can alchemize yourself and transform the energy into energy that will support you and help magnetize what it is you're calling in. Or go to an energy healer that's nearby to support you, a therapist, anyone that has been helpful to you in the past in helping you move through these core beliefs or patterns that have not served you. These are the people that you want to reach out to. This is all working for you. That is the biggest thing to understand here. This oscillating between two places is actually a temporary situation. Even in the discomfort that you're experiencing as you witness the old energy that's still in your system, even feeling that discomfort, simply experiencing it is a form of transformation, because it is through the experiencing of our feelings that we're able to express them and almost exorcise them from our system as they transform and turn into new energy. You can't cut energy off. You can't, as much as I even use the word release, it's not really possible, but you can transform energy from one state to another. And these limiting beliefs act like a contraction, they're a tension, they can cause physical pain in your system. And as you start to tease at them, as you start to focus on them gently and inquire into what it is that keeps these stories steadfast in your system, you start to loosen the energy around them. And eventually this energy is able to transform into a more expansive, light and harmonized state. So I hope that was helpful. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole there, but I'm very passionate about this area because we're all in it and we're all experiencing it in different ways. And I'm really aware that we're coming up to an eclipse this week on the 17th and 18th. And no doubt that is really bringing up some stuff for you. So the fact that you're observing these stories, and you might have a day where you feel rough and then a day when you feel amazing and totally in flow and everything's in synchronicity and yummy, and then back to the challenging stories. This is what it could be a bit like at the moment. And that's that's okay. It's helping you find capacity for all these different states of being, but primarily it's assisting you in holding your center. What's coming through in this card very clearly is that you are energetically really activating. It's particularly in your crown chakra. There's a lot of, I feel like, ideas. Like it's like your soul is in this space of, yes, things are a bit punchy right now, but overall we're headed in the right direction. And I'm opening you up because we're actually ready to receive new ideas and new opportunities. And there's an opening that's happening at the moment. And it's very receptive. It's very electrical energy. I'm really getting this kind of electrical, sort of lightning-y type energy, this very Tesla sort of vibe. And it's opening up to receive. It's like reaching out into the ether to receive the medicine, the direction, the downloads, the upgrades that are here available to you. So be really open to that. Let your dream time speak to you. Things are coming in for a reason. There's also a lot of energetic momentum behind creativity for you right now. So the more that you can give yourself space to be creative, to be open to trying new things, and maybe doing things where you might feel like, oh, I feel a bit of a fool of myself for doing this. Don't worry, just do it anyway, because we're in this time of new, really throwing out everything you thought you were. Let's let go of I am this. Your identity at the moment, honestly, it's really up for grabs. So just allow yourself to be loose. And if you ever hear yourself saying to someone, I can't do that because I am this kind of person, that to me is a red flag. That's a red flag offering growth, because staying away from really fixed ideas about yourself allows you to be an evolving being. And that's where your power really lies. So I hope that this has been helpful. Your guidance for this week is breathe deeply. Allow yourself to step back from the narrative. So the polarity you might be experiencing internally, just allow yourself some space to just step back and bear witness to it. And recognize that this is a period you're going through where old stories are coming up to be observed, acknowledged, and transformed. Some wording or a motto, if you like, for this week. I welcome transformation. I allow change into my life. I hope that this has been helpful. Have a wonderful week and go gently. I'll see you next week. Take care. If you chose card number 2, this is your card. This beautiful little girl and her horse. Okay, so there's this really tender energy right now. I feel like there's some inner child work happening, but there's also this new beginning energy. So some of you may have, in a few weeks prior, chosen this foal card. There was a foal card, a baby horse card that came up not too long ago. I feel like some of you might be watching this one too, because this has a similar vibe, this very gentle, loving tenderness. And I feel this sense of feeling a bit raw right now. And they really do want you to know that you have a lot of angel energy around you, looking after you, supporting you energetically. But what you're going through is actually a really big healing process. And they want you to understand this because they want you to be able to honor it, to let go of any thoughts or beliefs that are saying you should be doing more, you're not doing enough, you should be working harder. Whatever the narrative is, let go of it. It's not true. Because right now, you need to take things really gently and be very kind to yourself. There's some really deep work going on inside of you. And it's really, really powerful, gentle, but profound work. And the more that you can just let there be space for that, just really honor it. Please take this message as permission to give yourself time out, to allow what is occurring within you to have the space to integrate, to process, to be felt. You might be feeling quite emotional, and that would be extremely understandable, because what's realigning, what's healing here is really deep in you. It's really, on a very, very tender, as I said, childlike level. So that is where we hold our most challenging stories. It's from our childhood. And there's this beautiful angel energy, especially around this horse. And horses always act, to me, they have lots of dragon energy, and dragon, it carries such beautiful grounded energy, and they carry messages, and they enable us to communicate with higher beings. Actually, they are really wonderful at connecting us with very powerful spiritual high dimensional energies. And I feel that at the moment you have a spirit animal that is a horse that is really with you, really supporting you. And I love this head to head, because it feels so gentle and so nourishing. And the energy is, you don't have to give or do anything. It's really time for you to be receiving and getting better and better at receiving. And so really do frolic in the fields. Go and enjoy your time. Enjoy having free time. Make the most of free time. And if you're not doing that yet, then please prioritize it, because that is how you will make the most of the really powerful energetic shifts that are occurring within you. So I hope that was helpful. Have a wonderful week, and just go gently and trust that everything is unfolding just as it's meant to. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. So if you chose card number 3, this is your card. It's beautiful, baby. And dragonflies. There's a lot of dragonflies in this card. So it feels to me, new beginnings was the first thing that came in when I saw this card. And obviously there's a baby on here. So for some of you, that might be indicating that a new baby might be on its way. But whether that's a baby or whatever, it's what it really focuses on or highlights is creation. Like something is being birthed. And it has this sense of it's being really pushed up from deep within you. And there's this big releasing process going on at the same time that you're doing this birthing. And the need for you to be able to hold your center is super important right now. It's almost like what you're bringing into the world, whatever it is that you're creating, that you're birthing, the quality of it depends on your current ability to hold your center, because you are the creator of your experience. You're the creator of everything in your life. And so the more you're able to hold your center in a time where there is a lot of mixed messages perhaps going on around you or internally, and the more you can hold your center and just trust your own flow and trust that the timing is really big with this card. Okay, so there is no rush. Please do not rush this, because I have a sense that there's a feeling that you need to make things move faster. And this is far from the case. You are learning about trusting time at the moment, and time that is working for you. In fact, time is always working for you. It's really about you changing your perspective, your narrative around time. We often can use time to punish ourselves. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Constantly rushing from one thing to another, squeezing things in, saying no to things. I don't have time. And this actually just reflects a really poor relationship with time and yourself in many ways. And the opportunity, or what's really coming up to be explored here, is the invitation to recognize that time is always working for you. Everything in nature takes its time and works perfectly. Things need time to come into alignment, to come into a place of perfection so that they can be birthed into the world. So really, the invitation is to listen to your heart, which will be telling you everything's okay. Nothing needs to be rushed. You can take your time. And the more you do so, the more what you're birthing will just beautifully arise and will do so in absolute perfection. So the invitation for this week is to enjoy time, to trust that everything is flowing in its own perfect way, and that all you need to do is give yourself permission to enjoy the journey. I hope that this has served you. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy it. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.